That $80,000 truck in your driveway isn't a truck. It's a rolling computer with a $900 monthly payment and an 84-month loan attached to it. Last April, General Motors recalled roughly 721,000 half-ton trucks and SUVs because the crankshafts in their 6.2-liter V8 engines were eating themselves alive. One recall. Nearly 750,000 vehicles. But veteran mechanics across this country have been quietly pulling 5 specific trucks off the market for over a decade, buying them in cash, parking them in locked barns, and refusing to sell them to anyone. And by the end of this list, I will tell you the exact truck mechanics refuse to sell at any price because there is a trick with a single wire and a shoelace that means it will still fire up and run after every modern truck in America goes dark. Let's start at number 5. And right away, this one exposes exactly what General Motors abandoned in 2007. From 1999 to 2006, the Chevy Silverado 1500 Classic Body with the 5.3-liter Vortec LM 7V8 under the hood, iron block, aluminum heads, 285 horsepower, 325 pound-feet of torque, and 0 active fuel management solenoids anywhere in the valve train. Before this is the engine Chevy built before 2007. Before they decided your V8 should shut off 4 of its own cylinders every time you lifted off the throttle to save a tenth of a mile per gallon on an EPA test. That system, AFM, DFM, whatever they're calling it this year, is why mechanics are pulling collapsed lifters out of brand new 6.2-liter L87 engines for $15,000 apiece. It is why the April 2025 recall pulled 721,000 trucks off the road. The LM7 does not have any of that. It has a camshaft, 16 valves, and a throttle body that does exactly what your foot tells it to. Fleets regularly run these past 300,000 miles on nothing but oil changes. If you have got a 2001 Silverado with the 5.3 still ticking in the driveway, hit that subscribe button right now because you're already driving the last real half-ton Chevy ever built. But the pre-AFM Vortec is nothing compared to what is waiting at number 4. The truck Toyota literally had to buy back from its own customer to figure out why it would not die. Which is exactly why mechanics won't let the next truck go for any price, because Toyota proved what this engine could do by driving one of their own products past the 1,000,000-mile mark. Number 4. The first generation Toyota Tacoma from 1995 to 2004. 3.4-liter 5VZ FE V6. 190 horsepower, 220 pound-feet of torque, a cast iron block, aluminum heads, and a timing belt you change once every 90,000 miles. That's the complicated part. Because today, if you want a mid-sized truck, Toyota will sell you a turbocharged 4-cylinder with high-pressure direct injection. And by 40,000 miles, the intake valves are so carbon-choked the engine runs like it's got the flu. A Tacoma with a 5VZ does not do any of that. No turbo spinning at 180,000 RPM on a plastic bearing. No direct injection coking up the intake ports. Just a naturally aspirated V6 that was engineered to outlive the frame it sits on. Documented 1,000,000-mile examples exist. Top Gear drowned a Hilux in seawater, set it on fire, dropped it off a building, and it started. That's the durability pedigree this engine inherits. And we still haven't touched the diesel every mechanic in this country swears you can fire up with no battery, no computer, and nothing but a piece of wire. But if you think a naturally aspirated V6 is the peak of what mechanics are hiding, wait until you hear what's sitting at number 3. Because this is the last diesel General Motors built before the Environmental Protection Agency got its hands on the tailpipe. The 2006 and 2007 LBZ Duramax. 2 model years. That's your entire window. 6.6-liter V8 turbo diesel. 360 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque bolted to the Allison 1000 6-speed automatic, a transmission with million-mile service records in commercial fleet use. And here's what makes the LBZ the holy relic of modern diesels. No after-treatment. No diesel particulate filter. No particulate filter clogging up. No regeneration cycles cooking your fuel economy in half. No diesel exhaust fluid. No NOx sensor. No after-treatment system that strands you in a parking lot when a $15 sensor throws a code. The exhaust on an LBZ goes from the turbo straight out the tailpipe. Everything General Motors built after mid-2007 has a diesel particulate filter. Everything after 2011 also requires diesel exhaust fluid. One diesel particulate filter replacement can cost $4,000. One diesel exhaust fluid sensor failure can brick a $90,000 truck. Drop an LBZ emoji in the comments if you have one parked in your driveway. But the LBZ is Detroit's last mechanical act, and what's sitting at number 2 is from Ford's mechanical golden age. And it uses engine oil pressure to fire its own injectors. And that brings us to a truck that fires its injectors with nothing but engine oil pressure. Number 2. The 1994 through 1997 Ford F-250 and F-350 old body style Super Duty with the 7.3-liter Power Stroke, International Navistar's T444E turbo diesel Vive 8, 210 horsepower, 425 pound-feet, ZF S547 5-speed manual, or the E40D automatic. And here's the mechanism that separates this engine from every diesel Ford has built since. HEUI, hydraulically actuated electronic unit injection. The 7.3 does not have a high-pressure fuel pump the way a modern 6.7 Power Stroke does. It has an oil pump. That oil pump builds roughly 3,000 pounds per square inch of pressure in the engine's own oil galleries, and that oil pressure is what physically fires the injectors into the cylinders. No CP4 pump waiting to grenade itself and send metal through your entire fuel system, the failure mode that turns modern 6.7 Power Stroke repair bills into $15,000 catastrophes. As long as the oil pump is working, the 7.3-liter Power Stroke is firing. U-Haul ran these. Penske ran these. Municipal fleets have 500,000-mile examples still in daily service, and that brings us to the truck at the top of this list, the one every veteran diesel mechanic in America calls the Holy Grail for one specific reason, because it only needs one wire to run, and there's a trick with a shoelace that dealers pray you never find out. And there it is. Number 1. The 1994 through 1998 Dodge Ram 2500 and 3500 with the 5.9-liter 12-valve Cummins 6BT inline 6 turbo diesel, 175 to 215 horsepower depending on the year, 420 to 440 pound-feet of torque, bolted to the NV 4500 5-speed manual transmission. Sitting on the driver's side of that cast iron block, driven directly off the front of the engine by a set of gears, is the Bosch P7100 inline injection pump. 7 plungers, pure mechanical fuel metering, gear-driven timing, no computer, no engine control module telling it when to fire, no sensor deciding how much diesel to deliver. It's a piece of mechanical clockwork bolted to the side of the block, and it works on the same physics that ran farm tractors in 1960. And here's what the master loop has been pointing at this whole video. The entire engine needs exactly one wire to run, one. The fuel shutoff solenoid. That's it. If that solenoid dies, if the grid goes down, if your battery is dead, if the wiring harness melts in a fire, you open the hood, you tie a shoelace or a piece of scrap wire to the mechanical shutoff lever on top of the P7100. You pull it up by hand, you pop the clutch, and this truck fires up and runs. No battery, no computer. One wire, a shoelace. That's why mechanics won't sell them. 5 trucks. 5 generations. And one pattern nobody in Detroit wants you to see. Every engine on this list was built in the window after electronic injection became reliable and before the DPF, DEF, AFM, cam phasers, CP4 pumps, and 10-speed transmissions turned your pickup into a subscription service with wheels. That window is closed. It's not coming back. The 6.2-liter L87, recalled this past April, pulled 721,000 trucks off the road in a single swing. The modern heavy-duty diesel can't run 20 feet without the emissions computer signing off on it. If you've got one of these 5 trucks in your driveway right now, stop. Stop thinking about trading it in. Change the oil. Change the fuel filters. Respect what you have. Buy your next one in cash. Learn to turn a wrench. They don't build them like this anymore. And now you know exactly which ones to never, ever sell.